Hello friends! Today we'll see how 30 worldwide famous music stars have changed, and also compared how they looked then at the peak of their careers in 80s and what's with them now in 2023. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Let's go! Phil Collins rose to prominence as one of the members of Genesis, but as an independent artist he created more than 5 Billboard Top 100 singles, one of which was Against All Odds, for which he received his first Grammy and was nominated for an Oscar. Lionel Richie became visible to the public as part of the Commodores, but from the 82nd year he began to sing solo, and for one of his best songs, Say You Say Me, was awarded a Golden Globe and an Oscar, has over 30 Grammy nominations and 4 wins. Madonna has 2 Brit Awards, over 10 Grammy nominations and 5 wins, and never ceases to improve her music. Everybody became her successful debut in her career, but the song Material Girl, released in '85, firmly stuck to her and became her hallmark. Julio Iglesias received the American Music Awards in '98 and also received 6 Grammy nominations and 2 awards. His songs have been a huge success in over 10 countries, making him a world-class celebrity. Vanderline is one of his famous songs. Jon Bon Jovi made his debut with his band Bon Jovi in 1984, releasing an album with the song Runaway. Also one of his famous songs is Blaze of Glory, which received an Oscar nomination, a Grammy, and 1 Golden Globe Award. Has 1 Grammy Award. Bonnie Tyler is a Brit Awards nominee who rose to fame in the late 70s with her album The World Stars Tonight, and almost a year later the song It's a Hard Take was in the top 5 of the Billboard Hot 100 as well as the British Singles Chart. Elton John in the late 70s performed the song Don't Go Breaking My Heart, which became a landmark, bringing success, and the single Candle in the Wind 1997 caused a real sensation around the world, awarded at least 5 Grammys and 2 Oscars. Cyndi Lauper debuted in the early 1980s with the release of her first album She's So Unusual, which was a real career breakthrough for her and brought her worldwide fame, especially among teenagers. She has 10 nominations and 2 Grammy Awards. For Sting, his work as a performer for The Police was a significant boost to his career, but 8 years later, as a solo musician, he began to gain international fame. He has a Brit Awards nomination as well as over 10 Grammy nominations and 11 awards. Lennox is the winner of an Oscar, Brit Awards and 3 Grammys. She was a member of the Eurythmics, which performed the song Sweet Dreams in 1980, and which made a splash both with its appearance and voice, which brought her wide popularity. Paul Weller began to enjoy considerable popularity as a member of The Jam, but released the Stanley Road album in his solo career in the mid-90s, which was also a success, has a Brit Award, and has contributed to the development of the Britpop bands. Sandra became one of arabesque in the late 70s, as part of which she became widely popular, but just as successful for her was her solo career that began in the mid-80s. The songs Everlasting Love and Maria Magdalena became some of her most famous. Alice Cooper began his career in the band Earwigs, but became popular when the band was renamed Alice Cooper, and after the release of I'm 18 in 1970s. He is known for his unconventional shock rock performances. Jett began her career as a member of the Runaways, and it was with her that she became widely known. It was also her participation in the Blackhearts, with the release of the song I Love Rock and Roll in the early 80s, that made her no less famous. Adam Ant is a Breathe Award winner. He began to become recognizable as a member of Adam and the Ants. With the release of the first album, Dirk Wears the White Socks achieved some success, but his solo song Friend or Four brought him really wide popularity. Billy Idol's recognition began in the late 70s as part of Generation X, but gained particular popularity among listeners as a solo artist with an appearance on MTV and the launch of the Rebel Yell album, 3 times nominated for Grammy and Breathe Awards. Kim Wilde is the winner of the Breathe Award. Her early 80s song Kids in America made her a household name, but her huge success came with her cover of You Keep Me Hanging On in '86, and her songs didn't leave the top of the charts for a long time. Bryan Adams got a good career boost with the release of Cuts Like a Knife in the early 80s, which also made him recognizable. He has 8 Grammy nominations and 1 award, and has also been nominated 3 times for an Oscar and an American Music Awards. Eric Clapton began his career in the early 60s, but recognition began to come 10 years later, especially after the release of a cover of I Shot the Sheriff, which gave a significant boost to reggae music. Tears in Heaven is his strongest composition. Paul Young released an album in the early 80s that became a landmark in his career and that made him famous and repeatedly topped the British charts and also topped the Billboard Hot 100. One of his popular compositions is Come Back and Stay. Billy Ocean is an R&B singer, 7 years on the road to the fame he achieved with the release of When the Going Gets Tough, The Tough Get Going in '85, but the world audience appreciated him with the song Caribbean Queen. He has a Grammy Award. Howard Jones is famous for his special way of performing synth pop, thanks to which he left a special mark on the genre. His popularity began in the early 1980s, especially with the song New Song, and the following compositions were also a success. Bruce Springsteen, thanks to his work, became the founder of the heartland rock genre. World fame is his album Born to Run, and Streets of Philadelphia brought him a nomination for a Grammy, a Golden Globe, and he was also awarded the prestigious Oscar. Stevie Wonder has influenced many genres with his talent, including R&B. The song Fingertips he wrote as a teenager, and which brought him success, and his popular songs include Superstition, has an Oscar, more than 10 Grammys, and an American Music Awards. Billy Joel began his career in '73 with the song Piano Man, by which he's still recognized today, and 5 years later, the album 52nd Street was released, which made him a world star. He is the owner of 4 Grammys and nomination for Brit Awards. Peter Gabriel is the recipient of 6 Grammy Awards and has been awarded the Brit Awards. Genesis became his first major project, and thanks to which he became recognizable. Released in '86, the album So brought him significant success, has an Oscar nomination. Dr. Alban gained worldwide recognition with the release of It's My Life in '92. He started his career 2 years earlier by presenting to the public the album Hello Africa, released under the label Sweet Mix Records. His songs sold millions of copies. Cher has won an Academy Award, an American Music Award nomination, 4 nominations and 1 Grammy Award, and is a significant pop music figure. The songs I Got You Babe and Bang Bang, My Baby Shut Me Down made her popular and sought-after singer. Janet Jackson was nominated for an Academy Award, as well as 7 American Music Awards and 5 Grammy Awards. After the release of the album Control in 1986, the big breakthrough in her career began, bringing her popularity and pop star status. Tina Turner is known for her interesting voice as well as her spectacular performances. The song Let's Stay Together was a good start for her, but the most iconic was the album Private Dancer. She has been nominated for Brit Awards and more than 5 Grammy Awards. Ozzy Osbourne rose to fame as a member of Black Sabbath, and during this period he contributed to the development of the heavy metal and hard rock genres. He has 4 Grammy Awards. The album Blizzard of Oz, released in 80's, is one of his most popular. Samantha Fox is a Brit Award nominee. She began her musical career in '83, but was able to achieve some success with the release of Touch Me, I Want Your Body in '86, and the Touch Me album, released the same year, helped her solidify her results. Grace Jones was beloved by the public for her bright and unusual images. The late 70s was the beginning of her career and then making her recognizable, but she achieved particular popularity with the release of Island Live, has 2 Grammy nominations. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please share it on social networks, like it, and of course subscribe to the channel.